this is not a unique story. I quit my job of several years actually as a marketing executive in a very successful company. I realized it doesn't matter whether I work the job or not, I am still broke. The salary was awful. It was just barely a little bit over 1,000 euros per month. Think about that. Sure, I had the verbal respect of our boss and other co-workers, but then there was this culture behind backs, co-workers saying stuff like, well, maybe you should fire that guy, talking about me, to make a better profit. And keep in mind, during my stay in the company doing the marketing, the company made a lot of new records. Within the company, they made the biggest profit that they had ever made, and they had been around like 30 years. They became the sort of the area's leading company in that field, and a lot of other stuff too. And simultaneously, all the other workers were getting the benefits of that. They had a different type of a salary system, so they would be rewarded, but I was not. I just had a flat fee, and no matter what I did, how well did I pursue and succeed, it did not matter. I never saw a penny of any of that money. The whole job anyway was just a BS job. And what do I mean when I talk about that? Most of the jobs in the Western world, Europe, States, are like that these days. They are not real jobs. No matter what you get paid, you might get paid a lot. Usually, actually, the jobs that get paid the most are the most meaningless jobs. No matter how they disguise it in whatever words, it's just a transactional business where you're not adding any value to anything. Real jobs are the kind of jobs that add value to our life, to our environment. You're building something or creating something, making something new. Most jobs are not like that. Most jobs are just these BS jobs where you get a transactional fee, or your company does, or your boss or whatever, taking money and then transferring that money into something else or to someone else. And that's it. That's all it is. No matter how you disguise it, it has no value. It's just ripping people off, bleeding people to death, the workers, everything. And what's the point in working a job like that when there's no meaning in that? It makes no difference. You will not be remembered after you've gone. No matter if you just leave, you retire, you die, whatever. People in that workplace, the other people, they will forget you in a week. I saw that happening. I seriously saw that happening in that workplace. People that had worked for years, decades in that company, retired. And after a week or two, someone might say like, oh, I just realized that this person hasn't even been here anymore. I didn't even remember. Like, seriously, people say that out loud. You work your ass off just to barely make ends meet. You will never get rich. You will always stay in poverty or barely in the middle class zone, or whatever is middle class anymore. It's not what it used to be. You can never escape that. You will just work more and more and more hours. You have to be more efficient. And for what? For nothing. And I'm not saying that if you do work in a job like this, that you should now quit. I realize that not many people are in a position like that. I was in that position because my lifestyle is so low maintenance that it doesn't matter whether I work in a job like that or not. I am still broke. So I don't have any big debts and stuff like that. I live in the cheapest rental in the whole city. I have a 25-year-old car, which I bought with cash. It cost maybe, I don't know, $500 or something. The only debt that I have is my student loan, which I regret. I regret that highly. But if I had known back then, I wouldn't have taken it. I would have just, if you are a younger person, you might want to consider canceling your plans when it comes to studying a profession, if it means that you have to take big debts and loans, because it's not worth it. You might want to think about a job that is the most low cost. You don't have to take big loans, and it's fast to learn it, and it makes the most money in short term, and it adds value so that you can actually enjoy doing it. Do that. Take that job, even if it's not your something that you really want to do, but do it for a few years and figure out a plan to escape this system totally, completely, fully. Do not ever look back. That's really what you need to do. But if you are a little bit older, you have mortgages, you have kids, you have, everything. You have expensive cars. It's not so easy. You cannot just jump out of it. And it is a sad situation. This modern business world, capitalistic business world, whatever you want to call it, let's be honest here, it's just a fancy word for slavery. Modern slavery, that's what it is. No man has ever worked as much as we are working today. It's crazy. We have barely enough time for our families, for our friends. And if you are single, you are just forced to work. And when do you have time to even start a family? You don't. You just don't. It's crazy. That's why the birth rates are going down. That's why people are as miserable as ever. Mental health, everything is just going upside down. It's going crazy. And if we think about people in the Middle Ages, if we study them, or prehistoric times, we realize that man has ever worked as hard as it is today. That's just a fact. You used to live through nature, through the clock of nature, and we used to respect nature. We had time for our communities, for our family, for our kids. We cared about them, cared about our communities. We worked in natural environments, outdoors, and we didn't have mental health problems like we do now. These are all issues that rise when we work in this modern way, in these BS jobs that add no value. What's the point in working a job like that if you are barely making ends meet, if you are barely paying your bills? There is this fantasy, this idea that they market towards you that, oh, if you just work hard, you will get paid, you will get rich. You can also make that trip, you can do it. But you barely pay your bills because everything is getting so expensive that all your money is going to your living costs and your food. And the food you are able to pay or buy with your little salary, it's not even real food. It's just crap filled with all kinds of preservatives and mostly just grain-based. And it is just awful food. We shouldn't even be eating that. But you can very rarely buy anything that's actually real food because it's way too expensive. Can you recognize this? I know that I can. It's constantly this. So I would rather starve than go back to working BS job like that I used to at this point. Well, maybe if they'd offer me like an average pay or that average salary, which is like 3,500, and that was the wage that was promised to me back in school, that if I take this education, that's the job that I will have, and there will be tons of jobs open because the boomers will be retiring soon, and there's just gonna be so much jobs out there, and you can just pick the best. Well, I picked the best, and what I was offered was $1,000, and that was it, and that was the best job in the whole city. And well, what's the freaking point? What's the point? Seriously. Now that AI is ramping up, and it's making the work fields more efficient, so it's eating up the jobs. There's no jobs opening. When someone retires, they are not opening that spot. They are just happy that this person is now out, so they don't have to pay anything for that guy either. When I left my previous job, do you think that they hired a new guy to that job? Well, yeah, you guessed right. No, they didn't. Because they can do, at least they think they can, the same stuff that I was doing without me or anybody else really. Because of the modern tools, AI tools and so on. So they haven't even hired a new guy for that job. Well, that's the story of 2025. That's the way things are going. Right now in Finland, there is around 300,000 unemployed and about 10,000 open jobs. in the public, job market. Think about that. How crazy is that? And that's not unique to just Finland. It is happening pretty much everywhere in Europe. It's happening in the States too. I don't know the exact numbers in other countries, of course, but the same thing, the same trend is happening everywhere. There is so much unemployed people, highly educated unemployed people, smart people that would love to work, but there are no real jobs anywhere. Man, I would love to work if the even a BS job for some time, if the salary was right, if I was getting paid what I deserve to be paid. You just feel worthless. Your life is wasted. Time is wasted. You don't get to be outdoors. You just feel horrible day after day after day. You are not respected. There's no point. No point in doing that. And if you are in a situation like I was, where you can escape it, do it. Do it now. Just get the heck out of it. There's no point in trying to please the masses or whatever, trying to fit the crowd and just pretend that this modern slavery is not happening. We are all just free and the careers are amazing and whatever, that BS is around. Don't do it. Just get out of it if you can. Thanks.